cobblestone streets and vibrant galleries evoke a sense of stepping into a living exhibition of lights, where every sun-drenched wall seems to be a canvas. The smells of a painter's workshop, the scent of its oils, and the dance of vibrant colors transform visitors from mere observers into part of the city's timeless creative pulse.
Oh boy, I did not get that sense the first 4 times I visited San Miguel de Allende. But then, what do I know? I don't have an artistic bone in my body, and probably no way to notice without actively looking. But it is exactly this artistic feeling that supposedly makes San Miguel de Allende not only a very beautiful historic Mexican town, but also a home for many expats with artistic sensitivities and ambitions. So this time around, I'm going to find out if this was just a ridiculously pompous opening statement, or if this is really a haven for artists, and if it could be a source for inspiration for your artistic spirit. And I hope this video will show you if San Miguel de Allende can complete your desire for an artistic lifestyle, and if that would be enough for you to handle living there.
Hi, I'm Gerhard from Relocation Expatise. I want to help you find your ideal location to move to in Latin America. In the last 20 years, I've traveled and lived in over 100 locations from Mexico to Argentina, always with an eye of making a living there. So join me on my trips revisiting and exploring locations in the region so you can get an idea how your life would be over there. The first 4 times I came here, I was smitten with the beauty of the small city. It was a great visit, but while I could imagine others loving this place, it just didn't provide me with what I needed. I am just either more of a water sport and beach guy or a big city dude. Leaving my tastes and the topic of an art scene aside for a little bit, let me take you on a walk and show you that this town allows for a great, quiet, slow, and high quality of life.
Yeah, so this is the 5th time I come to San Miguel de Allende. The first time was in 2013, attending a wedding of a grad school colleague of mine. The second was 10 years later, revisiting that wedding's memories out of pure touristic curiosity. And the 3rd and 4th time, I came wondering for whom this place would work.
Founded in 1542, the settlement was originally established as San Miguel el Grande. It served as a strategic military outpost designed to protect the silver route that connected the rich mines of Zacatecas to Mexico City. By the 18th century, the town entered its golden age, evolving into a wealthy commercial hub. This era saw the construction of the town's iconic Baroque and neoclassical architecture, including the initial foundations of the famous Parroquia. As the colonial era reached its peak, San Miguel became the breeding ground for Enlightenment and revolutionary ideas. It was the birthplace of Ignacio Allende, a Spanish army captain who eventually turned against the crown. While it is famous for being one of the first Mexican towns to declare independence from Spain in 1810, its character remains most deeply defined by those centuries of Spanish influence, which left behind the vibrant colors, intricate stonework, and grid-like urban planning that earned it a UNESCO World Heritage designation.
It took me a while to notice this, but the center of town doesn't have any large or even mid-sized grocery stores. Well, if you do not count the Mercado Ignacio Ramirez.
Considering the lack of space in the historical center, there are only small tiendas, boutiques, and convenience stores to choose from. In any case, those of you who want to live in the charming city center need to know that you need transportation to get to the larger supermarkets, malls, and department stores.
So the weather right now is absolutely fantastic. We have something like 20 degrees Celsius. I believe that's in the upper 60s. This morning it was in the single digits in Celsius, which is more like the upper 40s. Later on it should get to like 27 or 28, which is more the lower 80s.
San Miguel de Allende has a classical Mexican highland weather. As I go into great detail in the Querétaro video, this means there's a summer and a winter, just like in the north. But there's also a bit of a dry and a rainy season as in the south. In general, it is pretty spring-like as it never gets too cold and rarely too hot, and the rains in the summer are manageable.
What surprised me was that San Miguel de Allende is pretty earthquake-proof. Unlike Mexico City, which ground amplifies tremors, here it doesn't. So the city has an A rating, which is the lowest earthquake rating in Mexico. Okay, so right now I'm gonna go and check out some stores, some shops, and especially there's supposed to be a mall.
The first store I'm visiting is La Bodega Aurrera. It is owned and operated by Walmart de Mexico. There is a La Comer supermarket in the south, which I found to be the largest but also the highest quality supermarket here. And to the east up the hill, there's a mini mall with a few stores and a cinema. Attached is a Soriano, a local US-style supermarket. Groceries, but also clothing, white goods and electronics. Next to it is a Liverpool. It's a local department store a la Macy's. All in all, you might not get everything in these supermarkets and department stores. But the city of Querétaro, where you will, is only about 2 hours away. And I heard that a Home Depot will be opening a store near the city. Plus, there's Amazon Mexico. And expats told me that with the help of some logistic companies, I could get products from Amazon.com from the US delivered. Let me just tell you, these logistical problems were huge issues a few years ago, and are still big issues in other parts of Latin America. In general, grocery prices are more expensive in San Miguel de Allende than in other Mexican locations.
Yeah, this is a classic morning here in San Miguel de Allende. Plenty of birds, and if you listen carefully, you can also hear the roosters. There will be dogs making noise, and for some reason, and this is almost everywhere in Latin America the case, the church is blowing up fireworks early in the morning. I don't know why, but it's pretty annoying.
This morning I was taking a walk around the popular neighborhood called San Antonio, which is walking distance to the historic center. On the way back north, I came across the Parque Benito Juarez, where during the wedding trip we danced under a pavilion, just like this young lady. Because this place is obviously landlocked, activities like sailing, surfing, and motorboating aren't available. There are a few gyms in the city. I found one in the historic center, which was visited by expats and locals, young and old. And in the suburbs are more options. There are 3 golf courses of various sizes and prices, qualities, and membership requirements. Moreover, you can hike and run pretty well in the area. This afternoon, I ran up the bluff to the east of the town, to a natural preserve called El Charco de Ingenio. Up there, I ran through modern, at times gated communities. It is another reservoir converted into a park-like area. Very nice for taking a walk and enjoying the view on the town. Even though I got surprised by a little shower in the middle of the dry season, the central Mexican highlands are pretty dry. San Miguel de Allende is located about 4 hours from Mexico City and about 4.5 hours from Guadalajara. Later, I ran south, arriving at the mall again. Next door to the mall is one of the town's hospitals. San Miguel de Allende is well equipped for general care and emergencies, though it functions more as a primary care hub than a center for high-complexity surgeries. Relocators often view San Miguel de Allende's hospitals as excellent for immediate needs, while looking to Querétaro or Mexico City for specialized treatments. The private hospitals in San Miguel de Allende are modern, bilingual, and accustomed to working with international insurance. Afterwards, I ran down a canyon between Balcones and La Palmita, 2 neighborhoods very popular with expats. These neighborhoods are a bit of a mixture of the 2 living extremes here in San Miguel de Allende. You have the historic center with prices something like $3,000 to $4,500 per square meter, or $278 to $416 per square foot. And the gated communities more outside the city with more affordable prices between $1,600 to $2,800 per square meter, which is something like $145 to $260 per square feet.
Okay, so I did some research and I'm leaving the house to find and explore the art scene as best as I can.
I usually get myself an Uber, but there are taxis and buses as well. When it comes to flying back to North America, the closest airports are in Querétaro and León. Or you take the bus to Mexico City with its 3 airports. There are numerous galleries around town, especially in the Guadalupe neighborhood. There's the Mercado de Artesanías. surely the most impressive art location is La Fábrica La Aurora. This is a mixture of galleries, studios, a museum, and some restaurants. So we got the answer. As you were clearly able to see, this town is oozing art almost everywhere and should inspire artistic feelings in many of you. But it's also a beautiful, quiet town to live a peaceful life in. What it isn't cheap and it isn't easy to get to. But with its thousands of expats and many more tourists, English literacy is high, so that you can assume to have a soft landing if you decide to move here.